the concerned citizens of Georgia. Y'all look good out there. Our apologies for the delay. There's a really bad accident on 75, and we wanted to make room for people to get here on time for the candidate forum. All right? So, y'all give it up for our DJ. He's been here since 4 o'clock. DJ Zeke Zeron. All right. We good on it? Everyone, you can be seated. Everyone, if you can be seated. All right. Man, I'm excited. We have been waiting for this day so we can talk to our candidates and see them. Can we just give it up for yourselves one more time, please? All right. So welcome to Concerned Citizens Taking Pride in the Southwest Side Candidate Forum. Tonight, we thank each and every one of you for showing up, staying engaged, and being committed to our future. And before we go any further, let's give love to our community greeters, our volunteer rock stars. You've seen them at the door, and one of them just happened to be my grandma. Let's make some noise for the Golden Girls! I love them. All right, and we can show love to the main man setting the vibe tonight. As I already said, DJ Zeke, DJ Zeron, pleasure. All right, so we also want to recognize the incredible build-up team. You've probably seen them in blue. They help you park your cars, but they are an organization that have a pre-apprenticeship program, and they do the work. All the parks you see around the city, they build those up. So I want to give it up for them. I want to give it up for the Atlanta Police Department for patrolling the area. Man, wow. And we proudly thank our community partners. I want to thank the People's Agenda, Georgia Stand Up, the Ivy Community Foundation, and Concerned Citizens Taking Pride in the Southwest Side. Well, hello there, Judge Benny. All right, our first partner is a true champion in civic engagement and voting rights. For decades, she has worked tirelessly to ensure every voice is heard, every vote is counted, and every voter has access, including helping provide rides to the polls in those in need. She is the proud CEO of the People's Agenda. Please help me welcome the powerful Miss Helen Butler.
Wow, I'm going to take you on a tour with me. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. We are so happy that you are here tonight to get educated about the candidates and where they stand on our issues. Yep. So I'm just going to give you some things to remember. And I think you were told that we provide free rides to the polls anywhere in the state. 877-524-8683. And if you encounter any problem at the polls, our election protection team is ready and willing to help. 866-OUR-VOTE. 866-687-8683. But more importantly, you've got to understand what's on the ballot. So get your sample ballot by going to my voter page, mvp.sos.ga.gov. Print out your sample ballot, mark it, take it with you to the polls so you can vote quickly. Right? We got that? Yes. Now, one other final thing I want to tell you. There are 3 types of ballots for the primary on May the what? May the 19th. There are 3 ballots. One is a Democratic ballot. one is a Republican ballot, and one is a nonpartisan ballot. So, this time you have to choose which candidate you're going to vote for based on a party affiliation. The nonpartisan ballot only has races like judges. So if you want to vote for the commission chair, if you want to vote for the Secretary of State, you got to choose a Democratic or Republican ballot. You got that? Got it. So are you vote ready? Yeah. I didn't hear you. Are you vote ready? Yeah. All right, make sure you ask your questions tonight. Have a good time.
Y'all give it up again for Miss Helen Butler. All right, don't get too excited. They already submitted their questions ahead of time. It's not going to get hectic in here tonight. All right, our next partner is a powerhouse leader and movement builder whose impact is felt all across Georgia. She is a White House Champion of Change recipient and leads multiple organizations from one headquarters known as the Movement Center, where workforce development, advocacy, and opportunity are created every day. Please welcome the dynamic Deborah Scott.
I don't think you can hear. Can y'all hear? All right. Y'all look good out here. Okay, so my question tonight is, where are the candidates? If you're a candidate, stand up. All right, face the audience. Let them see you, candidate for anything. If you're running for office, for anything. Y'all got them? Catch your photos. All right. So they are in a position for you to hire them to represent you. All right, that's your candidate pool for this particular day. What we want you to do over the course of tonight, as well as over the next couple of weeks, is pay attention to what the candidates say during this process, because this is a power shift. Where are the electorates? Who votes? Do we vote? Yes. We vote? When we vote, we what? Win, right? But we only win if we have an agenda. So tonight, we hope that you have an agenda for your community, that you expect elected officials to be held accountable, that you expect them, when they come into the room, that they represent you every single time. Can you do that? To whom much is given, much is expected. What's your ticket to vote? Making sure you're registered. Today is the final deadline for this particular race. If you're not registered to vote, raise your hand. Very good. If you have a family member that's not registered to vote, it is still time. You can go online and register right now. But we want you to remember that tonight is not about the candidates. It really is about you. You get to decide who's going to represent you in rooms that you will never sit in, unfortunately. So you have to make sure the values align. Say values. Values. Vote your values. Vote your values. Get informed and then inform others, right? It only works if we work it, right? We know that our rights are under attack. Our ballots are under attack. Black folks are under attack. Yep, I said it. We're under attack. So right now, you have a tool in your toolbox. And your tool in this particular season is to vote. And vote every time that ballot box gets open. And vote on the runoff. Can you do that? Yes. All right, let's do this. When our rights are under attack, what will we do? We're going to stand up and fight back and vote. When our rights are under attack, what will you do? Stand up, fight back, and vote. Thank you so much.
The only one who can do it like that. Y'all give it up again for Miss Deborah Scott. Next, we will have a representative from the Ivy Community Foundation itself, Miss Jasa Collins. Y'all give it up for her. I think I see some pink and green or something on her. I don't know that.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. On behalf of the Ivy Community Center and the Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa L for Sorority Incorporated, we want to also thank all of our supporting partners for this event. Welcome to this very important candidate forum. And as a member of Alpha Kappa Sorority and the chairperson of the Advocate for Social Justice Committee, I want to encourage everyone, I want to challenge everyone to take at least 4 to 5 people with you to the polls. Can we all do that? Yeah. Make sure we have a great voter turnout, because we cannot make any mistakes in this upcoming election. It's far too serious for us not to be fully engaged and making sure our kids, our daughters, our cousins, neighbors, everyone should have a way to get to the polls. And we hope that this evening will be very informative and educational for you in making the correct decisions with your voting choice in the upcoming election. Make it a great evening.
All right, give it up again for Miss Jasa Collins. Give it up again for her. Our next organizer is a fearless community advocate known for getting things done. When neighborhoods need action, she brings together residents, city leaders, code enforcement, and public safety to help make communities cleaner, safer, stronger. She is also the founder of Pride in the Southwest Side, and she happened to be my mama. Please welcome tonight's organizer, Miss Honeybee, Delisa Larry Barksdale.
I just want to say thank you so much for caring enough to come out to be empowered. Because remember, everything they've said tonight, they've already told you to do. I don't have to repeat that. I just need you to ingest that and operate on that. We need to make sure that we are listening and that we are voting for the person that embodies our value system. Not because they had the prettiest sign, not because they called you, not because you saw them in the grocery store 3 times. We talking about the work, the business of taking care of our community. They are the voice for us, and we need to hold them accountable. Trust me, we will hold them accountable. That's why we are the concerned citizens taking pride in the Southwest Side. So we look forward to seeing you. We're going to be doing more of these. We're receiving volunteers, people to come and engage with us. We clean up the community. We do a whole lot of stuff. But tonight, we're going to be empowered by the people that want to represent us. Remember, they work for us. And this is not about power. This is about the people. And if they're not about the people, then they'll have that term they have, and that will be all the term they have. So we need to make sure we hold them accountable and make sure that we are here to hear and really listening. Come on, y'all. We gonna listen? Yes. All right, then. So listen, everybody say we're going to take pride in the Southwest Side. We're going to take pride in the Southwest Side. No more will they ignore this side. We're going to get our due on this side. All right? Thank you.
Oh, Lord, I was having PTSD. I ain't know shit about to get the whooping. Like, found me in 3rd grade when I took the ruler home on accident. All right, y'all. Y'all excited to be here tonight. This is the moment we've been waiting for, and now it's time for the forum. Give it up again for our community partners one more time. The Ivy Community Foundation, for taking pride in the Southwest Side, Georgia Stand Up, and the People's Agenda. Our first moderator is an Emmy Award-winning journalist whose voice and face have informed Georgia for years on Fox 5 News. She now continues her powerful work in public media with WABE, bringing trusted storytelling and excellence to our state. Please welcome Miss Lisa Rayum. Our next moderator is an award-winning media powerhouse, heard across Georgia on V103 and WAOK, where she has informed and inspired listeners for years. She is also the host of Atlanta Up Close and one of the most recognizable voices in Georgia media. Please welcome Dr. Maria Boynton. Our next moderator is award-winning journalist and long-time television presence known throughout Georgia for impactful reporting and community-focused storytelling. She has become one of the state's most respected news voices through her work at Fox 5 Atlanta. Please welcome Angelique Proctor. And our final moderator is award-winning broadcasting trailblazer and a true icon. She made history as Georgia's first woman and first minority lead evening news anchor, becoming the face of WSB-TV. And now you can catch her continuing to inform the state on Atlanta News First. Please welcome the legendary Miss Monica Pearson. Tonight's format is simple. This is for the candidates. Each candidate will receive 1 minute for opening remarks. Questions were selected by the community and will be presented by our moderators. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to respond. Each candidate will also have 2 minutes for a closing statement. Our official timekeeper, please stand up. Y'all give it up for our timekeeper. We ask everyone to remain respectful and allow every voice to be heard. We now welcome the candidates for Fulton County Superior Court Judge, Ms. Janice Moore and Nikia Smith-Sellers. Y'all give it up for them as they make their way up here. And we have a special note. All candidates were invited, but these were the ones that showed up.
All right. All right.
Thank you all so much for being here this evening. We're now going to welcome the candidates up, as Ruben just said. We will begin with opening statements, 1 minute. I don't think you can hear me.
Janice, can you hear this one? Yes. Okay.
Testing. Is this?
Test 1, 2. Let's make sure the podium is working.
Yeah, the podium.
Yeah. This is not working.
Test 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Ruben. All right. Maria, did you introduce it? Janice Moore, you have 1 minute for your opening statement. 1 minute.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yes. I am Janice Moore. I'm running for Fulton County Superior Court Judge. I am currently the Deputy District Attorney over the Crimes Against Children Unit in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. I am charged with leading the unit that prosecutes crimes that involve abuse, neglect, sexual assault, and homicide of children. I specialize in trying homicide cases, which is extremely difficult work. I've been a prosecutor for 8 years, and before being a prosecutor, I was a public defender for 10 years. And as a public defender, I was assigned to the Mental Health Task Force to help create a sustainable mental health court in Fulton County. I have spent 18 years working to protect the most vulnerable members of our community. And when I am elected, I will continue that work in protecting vulnerable members, in protecting the rights, the Constitution, and the cases that appear in front of me. I ask that you vote for me. I work hard.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
Nikia Smith-Sellers, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Nikia Smith-Sellers, and I'm running to be your next Fulton County Superior Court Judge. I'm not running against Janice Moore. I'll make that clear. And why am I running? Because it's time that the people choose who is judging, who is going to be judged in Fulton County. Most of the judges on the Fulton County Superior Court bench have been appointed by the governor. We consider that the ballot box is a sacred thing. And so let's exercise that right to vote. And that is what I'm here to do. I'm a native of Fulton County, y'all, a proud Atlanta Public Schools graduate. Both of my parents were educators in Atlanta Public Schools. I am homegrown. For over a decade, I work in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and I am a Deputy District Attorney over the accountability courts, where I handle the Veterans Court, Drug Court, as well as the Mental Health Court. Additionally, I'm asking for your support. Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Thank you both for your opening statements.
Thank you both for your opening statements. Our first question will go to Janice Moore. When someone comes into your courtroom, how would you ensure that every person feels heard, regardless of status or resources?
Thank you for that question. First of all, I will show up, I will be on time, and I will listen to the people, because I will see people, not cases, not numbers, but people. I will listen to understand their situation, and because I am a member of this community, and I have lived in this community, I have raised my children in this community, and I have worshiped in this community, I understand the needs and the challenges that individuals in this community face. So I'm going to see people, not numbers, and address them with dignity and respect, no matter what they're charged with, no matter who they know, no matter what they have or don't have. They will all be treated fairly and know that they are standing before a judge that cares about them, because every ruling that a judge makes on that bench not only affects the individuals in front of that judge, but the community as a whole. Thank you.
Nikia Smith-Sellers, same question. I'll wait till you get there. I'll ask it again. Okay. How do you ensure that every person in your courtroom feels heard, regardless of status or resources?
Thank you so much. As a Fulton County resident and native, and I'll just keep saying that, because it's important to know that I respect every single person who will walk into the courtroom. One of the things that I've been taught growing up, being my parents were educators in Fulton County School. I had an aunt who was a civil rights activist. My grandparents were sharecroppers down in South Georgia. One of the things that I've always been taught is to stand up for those who don't have a voice for themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to law school. And I bring that all through the time that I've spent in the DA's office, over a decade, working with the accountability courts and working to find resources for those who do not have them. And with that, every single person who walks in the courtroom will be treated with dignity, with respect, and every case will be handled with the integrity, with equity, and with fairness.
We now move to our second question. Nikia Smith-Sellers, if you could please stay at the microphone. What role does a judge play in building public trust in the justice system?
Thank you so much. The judge is a member of the community. And so one of the things that a judge can do to continue to build that public trust is, one, the courtrooms are an open book. All courtrooms are open to the public, and encourage the public to be present in their courtrooms. And also be clear and concise with the rulings that they provide to the public, reasoning behind those rulings. Additionally, be present to the public. One of the things that I've done over the years is serve in my community. from my church, New Life Presbyterian, where I started the dance ministry from 20 years ago, the youth dance ministry as well as the women's dance ministry. I'm present in the community. From doing community work, I serve also on the board of a nonprofit, Total Dance, Danceicle Productions, and I serve in the community, as well as in the district attorney's office, in programs that we have in schools. I serve in the community. And as your next judge, I will continue to serve in the community.
Ms. Moore?
Can you repeat the question?
I'll do it.
What role does a judge play in building public trust in the justice system?
I think that we can be honest in recognizing that our community isn't typically a community that trusts the judicial system. And for good reason. Historically, we have reasons not to trust our judicial system. However, I have worked in this judicial system as a public defender and as a prosecutor, and what I have learned in working on both sides of the courtroom is to build that trust. You have to speak the language of the community, and you have to make sure that they understand that you see them and you see the cases. You will hear me say this over and over again because I think that that's important. And understanding that your rulings have to be worded in a way that people understand why you're ruling the way you are, that people understand the law, that people understand the role that everyone in the criminal justice plays. That means making sure that attorneys are held accountable for doing the work that they're supposed to do to represent their clients or prosecute defendants, and that they do that fairly and within the boundaries of the law. It's building that trust and continuing to build that trust that our community needs, so that our community knows that they are safe in this community, that they are protected in this community, and that they are valued in our community. Thank you.
So now we move to our third question. That question will be, how do you maintain impartiality when cases involve powerful institutions or public interest? And that question will first go to Janice Moore. This is our third and final question. Yes, I'll repeat the question. How do you maintain impartiality when cases involve powerful institutions or public attention?
You maintain impartiality by looking at the facts of the case and the law. The law doesn't change. A judge's interpretation should not change based on the faces in front of that judge. The law is the law, and it should be upheld justly and equally, and people should know when they go before a judge what to expect based on the judge's previous rulings and how the judge handled previous cases. And Superior Court judges preside over not just criminal cases, but also civil cases. And a lot of civil cases involve big businesses, high dollar value amounts, land, property issues. And so the community needs to know that no matter who is standing before her, that she's going to apply the law, she's going to listen to the facts, and she's going to rule with integrity, not give favor to any particular person, not have any special interest in mind. And a lot of that stems from this right now, and running a campaign and understanding where the financing comes from for that campaign, and to make sure that you continue to represent the people who put you in that position, but also the community as a whole, and to look at every case with facts, integrity, and under the law. Thank you.
Ms. Sellers, same question.
Check, check. Hey, we're in the house now. How y'all doing this evening? All right. Nikia Smith-Sellers, same question to you. How do you maintain impartiality when cases involve powerful institutions or public officials or public attention?
Thank you so much. It's about being a part of the community and knowing that you are a representative to the community. Like I said before, one of the things my mom has said to me many times, she's no longer here on this earth, to whom much is given, much is required. And in understanding that, you have to treat every person fairly and every person with integrity. And so no matter if that person or entity is out of North Fulton, whether they're in Roswell, whether they're in College Park, East Point, or Southwest Atlanta, all will be treated with equity and with respect and with integrity in my courtroom. As you can see, my opponent decided that she did not want to show up for the people here in Southwest Fulton County. But I am here, I am a part of this community, but I understand that I'm the judge, I would be the judge for the entirety of Fulton County. And again, I am here to serve.
Thank you. We now will move to closing statements.
Janice Moore. Janice Moore, you have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Thank you. I really appreciate everyone for being here. I appreciate the time that you took in being educated voters and learning about the candidates, because that's important. This is your decision, this is your county, this is your election, and it takes all of us. The system does not work if only part of the system works. We need the entire system to work for everyone. And thank you for being here. I will do my part when I'm elected to make sure that as a judge on the Superior Court bench, I am making sure that that side of the system works. The election is May 19th, but I ask each of you to encourage your friends, your family, your relatives to vote early and go all the way down the ballot. The judicial candidates will be on the nonpartisan ballot, and we are below the questions. So please encourage people to go all the way down the ballot and make sure that they know the candidates, and don't just vote for a candidate who has always been in office. Because if that's not working, that's not working. And sometimes we need change. And this is that time. This is the time where we need change. We need people who are going to fight for everyone in this county. We need people who are going to show up and do the job that you are paying them to do. And that's what I will do when I am elected. Thank you for your time. Remember Janice Moore for Fulton County Superior Court Judge. And although I only have 2 minutes, I'll be here afterwards and we can talk as much as you want. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Nikia Smith-Sellers, you have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Greetings again. One of the things that I mentioned earlier is that there are now 5 judges that are up for re-election. There are 20 judges on the Superior Court bench, and 5 are up for re-election this year. All 5 of those judges have been appointed by the governor. So they're reflecting what he wants for Fulton County. I am here to reflect what the people of Fulton County want for Fulton County. Thank you so much. But again, as a native of Fulton County, my aunt was a civil rights activist, one of the founding members of SNCC, Ruby Doris Smith Robinson. Again, I have been taught that service is the rent you pay to be on this earth. And I am here to serve you, serve all of Fulton County as a Superior Court judge with fairness, with integrity, and with equity. And I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for your vote. May 19th, April 27th begins early voting. May 19th is the day. And again, I will be in the back next to my co-worker, Miss Janice Moore, waiting for your questions. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you on May 19th.
I just wanted you all to kind of know what's coming up next. It'll be, because I can see some of our media people trying to figure out when are we going to get to this and that. So just to give you a quick rundown, we just did the Superior Court Judge. Next we'll do Fulton County Commissioner District 5. Then we'll do the Fulton County Chair. And then of course, we'll do Georgia Secretary of State. And that's it.
Yeah. The one and only. Y'all give it up for our moderators. Please excuse our technical difficulties in the beginning. Give it up again for our Fulton County Superior Court candidates. We now welcome the candidates for Fulton County Commissioner District 5. Ms. Helen Willis and Sojourner Grimmett.
Give them another round of applause. Welcome Helen Willis and Sojourner Grimmett. For time's sake, can we have both of you just stand here, Helen and Sojourner? Let's have you stand right here so you can get back and forth to the mic fairly easily. So yeah, just stand right there on the red dot, right there, and we'll call you up. Thank you both for being here. Anjali?
Helen Willis. Helen Willis, you have 1 minute for your opening statement. I know it's not on, but I project pretty loudly. Helen Willis, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am Helen Zenobia Willis, and I am running to be your next 5th District Fulton County Commissioner. I have stood with residents when food insecurity needed to be addressed, when they needed access to health care, when teenagers needed jobs, when violence have erupted in our community. I have addressed and stood alongside public safety. We need someone to go to the county commissioner with experience. My family has been deeply rooted in this community since 1977. I am a wife of a 37-year veteran of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. I am a wife of a Lancer. I am a mother of 4 children, 2 who have graduated from Fulton County schools. We're at a crossroad. It's Helen Zenobia Willis running to be your next Fulton County Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Sojourner Marble Grimmett, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Good evening, and thank you to everyone for being here. My name is Sojourner Marble Grimmett, and who am I named after? Ain't I a woman? So I am Sojourner. I'm the daughter of Dr. Manning Marable and the daughter of Hazel Ann Harris, and I'm a boy mom to Roland J., who's at Tuskegee, and Joshua, who is at a baseball banquet right now at Westlake. I'm also a wife to Roland, my college sweetheart of over 20 years. We've been married, but 30 years together. Pretty long time. I am also a friend and a neighbor. I went to undergrad at Clark Atlanta, went to grad school, went to grad school at Penn State and came back for love. I have been serving in this community for over 25 years. I am boots on the ground. I don't have nails because I am digging in the dirt and doing the work. My background is in higher education, local government, affordable housing. Visit electsojourner.com. District 5.
Sojourner, I'm going to have you stand there. Thank you, candidates, both, for your opening statements. It's now time for our first community selected question, and Sojourner, we will begin with you. One issue residents say is that they don't feel heard, especially when it comes to things like housing affordability. What changes in your leadership will let your voters and constituents know that they are being heard?
Thank you for that question. So I mentioned earlier, my background is in community outreach engagement. When I went to school, I studied ethnography. So that's being on the ground at the graduate level. I studied ethnography. That's listening to folks. Listening to what bubbles up from that are common themes that emerge. And so working in community outreach and engagement, one of the things that I did is I worked in affordable senior housing during COVID. Some of you are shaking your heads. You may have remembered me knocking on your doors and delivering meals. We were in Big Bethel Village, Baptist Towers, Baptist Gardens. So I am a listener and a doer. And I am on this earth to serve the underserved. That is what I'm called to do. And so I would be delighted to continue listening as your next Fulton County Commissioner.
Thank you. Helen Willis, same question.
Thank you for that question. One of the things that we did as a former council member for going on 9 years is we turned blight into opportunity. When residents said they wanted affordable housing, I am proud to stand here and say that I turned blight in my community to opportunity. I am the only one that have turned an apartment community that was blighted into workforce housing. It is located on Welcome All Road. And so that is one of the ways that we can turn blight into opportunity and make affordable housing. You also want to look at zoning codes. Zoning codes can dictate what type of housing that can be built in your community. As a commissioner, we do not control zoning, but what we can do is partner with several organizations throughout Fulton County that will bring affordable housing. We can also continue supporting our Fulton County Housing Authority. Our Fulton County Housing Authority has placed many affordable and attainable housing communities throughout South Fulton. And we need to continue to support organizations and our Fulton County Housing Authority and make sure that we advocate for them to put affordable and attainable housing throughout Fulton County and look for opportunities to turn blight in our communities into opportunity. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. We now move to our second question, and Helen, why don't you remain up? The second question is, and I know you both have been campaigning, you've been out talking to people. What is the one issue residents of District 5 raise repeatedly, that has not been addressed?
The lack of health care access in our community. And it is now being addressed. I want to thank the current commissioners for investing in our community with Grady. We do have a hospital that is underway that will be built in 3 phases, but we need more. And so as a sitting council member, I have partnered with several organizations to bring access to health care into our community by way of health care fairs. Just partnered last weekend with Kappa Apple Psi. And so until we get access, more access to health care in our community, those are the things that we're going to have to do. Continue to fill in the gaps. Bring the access to our community. Meet people where they are. That is the #1 question that we hear from residents. Access, the lack of access to health care. Access to health care is not a privilege. It's about dignity. And I learned that growing up in Savannah, serving as a candy striper from 13 to 16 years old. That's a passion of mine, and that is what I would advocate for as your next Fulton County 5th District Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Sojourner will have you answer the same question. What is one issue residents of District 5 raise repeatedly in addition to the access of adequate health care?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. There are several things that I hear when I'm knocking on doors, and I feel like I've knocked on hundreds, if not thousands of doors. I'm a part in running a grassroots campaign, so I'm listening and listening deeply. Healthcare access is what we constantly hear, and so delighted that the board decided to expand the emergency department into a hospital, and I would have voted yes on that as well. Affordable housing keeps coming up. People want to age in place. People want to live in their homes, and I support that. And I have a background in affordable senior housing, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of the work that I did was in an area called Christian City in Union City. One of the communities that I advocated for and that came to fruition was Crossing Point, which I dearly named. And so housing is my background, healthcare is my background. And then something that comes up too a lot is also voting. We don't need to be afraid to vote. We don't want to deter people from the voting booth. And so there are ways as a commissioner that I will expand access to voting for our constituents. Thank you for the question.
Sojourner, thank you so much. We now move to our third and final question. And Helen, this will be for you. What role should a district commissioner play when county policy negatively impacts a specific community?
Our role as commissioners, we have two main things to do. That is create policy, and that is oversee budgets. And so, as a policymaker, it is our main job to create policy, work with the county manager and department heads. And so, if there is an issue that's affecting the community, I will find out what department is responsible or oversee that issue and figure out a way to come to a compromise between the community and me as a policymaker. Work with our county attorney, work with our county manager to make sure that I am not putting forth anything that will be negatively impactful to our county budget. And that is how you make sure that policy that may negatively impact the community. And one of the main things you want to do before you put forth any policy is make sure you have town halls. You have town halls and you speak with the community. I've never had a town hall that did not yield over 100 people. I email, I text, I also do robocalls to make sure my community, and I also do newsletters to make sure my community is aware of any issues and work with them to get to a solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Sojourner, the same question. Do you need me to repeat it? What role should a district commissioner play when county policy negatively impacts a specific community?
Thank you for the question. And so I've worked at Fulton County government. I served as the Director of Constituent Services for former Chairman John Eves. And so I did a lot of listening. And as far as the question, I would hold community sessions throughout the 8 cities. Some folks may not be aware, but Fulton County District 5 includes 8 cities, all the way from Southwest Atlanta all the way down to Chattahoochee Hills. So Fairburn, a little bit of East Point, a little bit of College Park, Palmetto, just to name a couple of the cities. And so my first 100 days, that's something that I would do, is host different listening sessions, and that's what I've already done on the campaign trail. I have a great rapport with all of the commissioners already, and I've already met with all of them. And so policies can be tweaked. And so because of that wonderful rapport that I already have, I believe it, and I'm optimistic, that is something that can be done in order to continue to advocate for our constituents. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, both of you. We now move to closing statements.
Helen Willis, you have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
So I have already knocked on over 3,000 doors. I have already delivered over 2,000 yard signs. I have been working for the past 8 years serving the 5th District, Fulton County District, by way of addressing food insecurity, bringing healthcare access, making sure our teams have been hired during the summer, ensuring that our residents have the right to vote by educating them. Because every community outreach event I invite Fulton County Board of Elections to make sure they are registering, updating, and reminding people when to vote. I'm asking you all to make it official. I want to thank you for interviewing me. Now I'm asking you to hire me for the job on April 27th through May 15th, and also on Election Day, May 19th. I'm already doing the work, and my day one started at the age of 14 as a candy striper. I would like to be elevated to help more people in a official capacity, because I'm already unofficially doing it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this forum, and I look forward to continuing to meeting constituents in the 5th District, continuing addressing your concerns, and also I'm already working on solutions. And I look forward to continuing to work with whoever the next chair will be, and continuing to work with my other colleagues, whoever the next commissioners will be. And thank you, Commissioner Arrington, for all your support and also endorsing me, and I will continue to make 5th District proud. If you want to know more about me, HelenZWillis.com. Thank you.
Sojourner Grimmett, you have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
I'm running because I love this community. I've lived here, raised my family here in Southwest Atlanta in Suttles Landing, and in South Fulton in Canaan Ridge, where we currently reside, for more than 20 years. And I believe leadership should listen first, serve always, and deliver real results. So for over 25 years, I worked across government, nonprofit, and the private sector to bring resources into underserved neighborhoods. This is my hard work. This is what I'm called to do. Advocating for scholarships, expanding healthcare access to 1.4 million Georgians working at Peach State Health Plan, building affordable senior housing at National Church residences, and delivering food and supplies during the COVID pandemic to seniors who were afraid to leave their homes. But no leader does this alone. This movement is powered by people like you, small business owners, organizers, my beloved seniors, and young people who believe that South Fulton County deserves more investment, more opportunity, and more respect. Someone said, put respect on my name. We deserve safe communities, strong schools, affordable housing, quality health care, good paying jobs, and pathways for where everyone can succeed. If you believe in people over politics, progress over promises, and leadership that is honest and cares deeply about others, I ask you for your vote. My name is Sojourner, the truth, and I appreciate your time, your consideration, and your vote during early voting or on election day. Visit electsojourner.com.
All right, let's make some noise for our District 5 Commissioner Fulton County candidates. We'll take this time now. Anybody running for office, we will give you the time to say your name and what you're running for. Not a dissertation, but just something real quick so we can move on. And yeah, that's all. You want to come up here? Yep. Yep, that's on the ballot anywhere.
In Georgia.
In Georgia. It's going to be real quick. Aren't our moderators doing a fantastic job? Name and what you're running for.
Good evening, everyone. I am Jane Williams, running for House District 68, which is between two counties, Fulton and Fayette County. Fulton County is parts of the city of South Fulton, Fairburn, and Union City. And Fayette County is Tyrone, Peachtree City, and Fayetteville. So if any of you all live in those counties, please consider Jane Williams for House District 68. And if you don't live in those counties but know someone else that does, please tell them about me. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Miracle Williams, and I'm running to be your next state court judge here in Fulton County. I spent the last 20 years serving Fulton County as a law enforcement leader with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office for 12 years in the extradition unit handling fugitive warrants, and the last 8 years as a prosecutor in the Fulton County Solicitor General's office. We are responsible for accountability. However, I am very aware that our communities need more than consequences. We need organization, we need guidance, and we need second chances. And with my work with the Solicitor General's office as a prosecutor, I have led the efforts for our diversion programs, second chance initiatives, and restorative justice programs, including record restrictions. I have been with Fulton County, again, for over 20 years, including in college at Clark Atlanta University. That's right, Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. I understand what it is to struggle and to thrive, because in the Sheriff's Office, thank you, Miracle Williams.
All right, thank you. All right.
We would ask all of you to please keep your comments to 1 minute, because we have 3 really important elections. Yours is important too, but you all got added to the program.
Hello everyone, I am Kayvon Arnold. I am running for State House District 62. That encompasses a little bit of Atlanta, a little bit of East Point, a little bit of College Park, and a little bit of South Fulton. I am a lifelong resident of East Point, Georgia. I am a proud product of public schools, where my daughter is now the 2026 valedictorian of Tri-Cities High School. I believe that everyone should have affordable health care. I believe that our public schools should be fully funded, and I believe that we should have opportunities for workforce development. I'm gonna keep it quick. I am Kayvon for Georgia on Facebook, Instagram, and my website, and I would love your vote for your next state representative, District 62.
All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt Reeker. I'm also running for House of Representatives District 62. Again, it covers a little sliver of South Fulton, East Point, College Park, and the neighborhoods in Atlanta of Sylvan Hills, Peoplestown, Grant Park, and South Atlanta. I'm president of the Peoplestown Neighborhood Association, where I have worked with neighbors to make sure that we fight back against investment companies gobbling up our neighborhoods and forcing our seniors out. I've worked with neighbors to address flooding issues and health issues, as well as being boots on the ground to make sure that we have real sustainable options for transit and expanding MARTA access, because we rely on it here on the south side of the city and on the south side of Fulton County. So again, my name is Matt Reeker. I'm running for District 62, and it's mattreeker.com, and I look forward to earning your vote.
I'm Bob Trammell, and I'm running for Attorney General. I was Democratic leader in the State House for 4 years, and I've got a question. Aren't we tired of Donald Trump's chaos? Yes. He's attacking our voting rights, jacking up prices, getting us into war, and we need an Attorney General that will hold the Trump administration accountable, take him to court, and take on his enablers here too. Bob Trammell for Attorney General, bobtrammell.com.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cassandra Kirk. I serve as your Chief Magistrate Judge in Fulton County. It is my desire, yes, thank you. It is my desire to ask for your vote again for this year, May 19th, 2026. You might want to ask, what does a Chief Magistrate Judge do? I am responsible for hiring 30 judges to sit on the benches to preside over the People's Court. We handle cases from small claims, Judge Judy Court, all the way to, that's the easiest way to explain it. Small claims to law and order, that is what we do. 24/7, our court is constantly running. I want to leave you all with 3 words: accountability, proven results, and community. That is what I bring, and I'm asking for your vote again. Judge Kirk, JudgeCassandraKirk.com. Keep Kirk cheap. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Darius Rollins. I'm a friend of Dr. Beverly Jones right there. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. Graduate of Clark Atlanta University. I'm I'm the past local board of directors chair for Atlanta Technical College, and I'm currently the secretary of the City of South Fulton Downtown Development Authority, and I am running for District 3, City of South Fulton. And you can follow me at electdarrisrollins.com. That's D-A-R-R-I-S, church members. Member of Cascade United Methodist Church. Hey, Cascade. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Maggie Goldman, and I am running for Fulton County Commission in District 1. So I'm very glad they're doing 5 in the chair today. Look at next week, there'll be 1 for me. But I'm in North Fulton, and my opponent is Bridget Thorne. She is our resident election denier. So we are looking to win over that seat and flip that one back to the Willis. So thank you very much.
All right, give it up for our candidates. Thank you so much. Thank you all, candidates. Next, we will welcome the candidates of Fulton County Chair, Marvin Arrington Jr., Robb Pitts, and Mo Ivory.
The candidates will make 1-minute opening statements, followed again by the questions. That their answers will be 90 seconds. So once everyone's in place, we will begin. Angelique?
So these are the candidates that I spend a whole lot of time with as the county and city reporter at Fox 5 Atlanta. I know all 3 of them extremely well. We were going to begin with our 1-minute opening statement. Marvin Arrington Jr., you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you all for having us here. My name is Marvin Arrington Jr. I'm a father, an attorney, community servant, a graduate of the Atlanta Public School System, and the only certified county commissioner in the race to be the next chair of the Fulton County Commission. For the past 12 years, I've led Fulton County by bringing pre-arrest diversion, which has saved over 1,000 people from going to our jail, by fighting for healthcare equity in Fulton County, in authoring the legislation to declare a healthcare state of emergency in Fulton County, and it called for a study of the impact. Also by developing our youth through writing and film competitions and securing over $3 million for the summer youth internship program, and securing over $3 million for veterans and veteran services in Fulton County. Also by creating the Reparations Task Force and fighting to keep our elections free and fair. My name is Marvin Arrington Jr. Thank you.
Oh, Ivory, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Mo Ivory. I'm running for chair of the Fulton County Commission because our communities deserve more than the same leadership, the same excuses, and the same unresolved problems. We deserve a county government that tells the truth, does the work, and delivers results. I am the mother of 6, grandmother of 2, a Spelman College graduate, an attorney, a law professor, and a proud Fulton County resident of more than 30 years. I'm not running for appearances or for titles. I'm running because too many families, especially on the South Side, are still waiting on solutions to the jail crisis, underfunded courts, lack of healthcare access, housing instability, and a budget process that too often leaves the public in the dark. When the county government fails, working families pay the price. I'm running to bring new leadership, real accountability, and a chair who is ready to fight for the people of Fulton County. Thank you.
Robb Pitts, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Thank you so much. I'm Robb Pitts. I'm the current chair of the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County. And as you know, I've had the pleasure of serving this community for years. First as a member of the City Council, then as president of the City Council, then as a commissioner on the Board of Commissioners, and for the past 7 years as chair of that Board of Commissioners. And I'm proud of the work that we've done. I've served this community with distinction, and I've never embarrassed you. In all that time, I have never, ever embarrassed you. What you may not know, what you do know, is that Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia, is the largest county in the state of Georgia. But it is also one of the most important counties in these United States of America. There's almost 3,000 counties in the United States of America. Your Fulton County is in the top 5. How do I know that? I know that because my colleagues across the country, they call me and ask me, how are you able to do and provide all of the services that you provide without raising your millage rate?
Thank you.
So now we have our first question that came from the community. It's directed to you, Mr. Marvin Arrington, Jr. How do you balance growth and equity so longtime residents are not displaced by development or harmed by data systems and centers?
Thank you. The job of a commissioner is one of a balancing act, right? We have to certainly make sure that we take care of our legacy residents, make sure that they are able to age in place, and also at the same time make sure that we make room for development and for new opportunities. But certainly one cannot be done at the expense of the other. And so the first thing you have to do is communicate. You have to bring the parties together, find out what the options are, and see how you can resolve things. We have certain residents, particularly those living near our belt line, that are facing property tax increases that are not fair. We need to make sure that we are accurately assessing all of the commercial properties. I want everyone to pay their fair share of taxes and no more. But certainly we need to make sure that our commercial properties are being assessed properly. Additionally, we need to align our tax year with our fiscal year. We borrow millions of dollars every year just so that we can pay for operations. By simply aligning our fiscal year and our tax year, we can save millions of dollars and make that money available to provide more resources for our youth and our seniors.
Thank you. Mo Ivory, the same question. How do you balance growth and equity so longtime residents are not displaced by development or harmed by data centers?
Thank you so much for that question. Something I found very much when I walk around this county is that people do not understand what the county does. Do not know the difference between what the city and the county does. The first thing that residents need to understand is who serves them and what their role is so they can ask the right person the right questions. So I've gone on a crusade to make sure that people understand what the county does different from their cities and that they're getting the information early enough to make a difference in what happens. It doesn't matter if you find out about a data center as they're getting ready to take the vote at the Development Authority. You should know about that data center way before Microsoft has visited your community 15 times. Because if they're going to come 15 times, then the deal is already done. So it's important that you get in early before you see the barrier going up when the data center is getting ready to be built. So what I'd like to do is bring the community into Fulton County to teach you about the problems. The jail, the courts, the hospitals, elections. Those are our crises. Jail, courts, hospitals, elections. And when you get to know these things, then you know who to go to ask for help. And so I want to bring clarity and education to Fulton County so you can finally understand what Fulton County is supposed to be doing for you.
Thank you. Robb Pitts, same question.
Actually was a two-part question. The first part dealt with development. As you know, Fulton County is almost completely municipalized. And what that means is that probably 99.9% of the land within Fulton County is within one of the 15 cities. That's where development and zoning takes place, not with the Board of Commissioners. That's where it comes to an understanding of what we do at Fulton County. The second part, I was probably one of the first in the state of Georgia to speak out against data centers. The way you stop data centers is you have your local officials, your city council members, just say no. It's that simple. There's one now but I'll tell you this, it's very intoxicating when you have a Microsoft or whatever the company is that's coming here, because the money that they're offering the local areas is so much that in some cases it is more than their annual budget that they get from you, the taxpayers. That's why it's so difficult for them to say no. But the way you stop data centers, you declare a moratorium or you just say no.
Thank you. Thank you. Our second question surrounds the crisis at the Fulton County Jail. As you know, it is under its second consent decree. And I know the first thing that you're going to say to me is, well, we just passed a special purpose facility and we are well on our way of addressing this issue. But my question is, what are we going to do to ensure inmate safety over the next 5 years before that facility is built? Let's begin with Mo Ivory.
Thank you so much for that question. The jail is near and dear to my heart. I have 5 sons. Every time I go to the jail, I see one of them in there. It's filled with young men that look like our children, young women that look like our children. And so I am deeply concerned about what's going to happen in the next 5 years, because you heard about that special purpose use building, but that is just fancy words for a new jail that will have a mental health facility in it. But it will not happen until the year 2031. So what will, yes, it was voted on, it'll take till 2031 until it is built. So what are we going to do about the jail right now? We need to do something that hasn't been done in the last 12 years or the last 2 decades, which is put the right amount of budget allocation to fixing the problem at the jail, and then begin fixing it. There are a lot of things that can be done, from moving people out that are in there for non-violent poverty crimes, crimes that they've never afflicted anybody else with but are in there, and put them into diversion. There's many things we could do because it was done during COVID. We can put more people on ankle bracelets. We no longer need to have people sleeping on the floor of the Fulton County Jail. It is time. It is time, after decades of leadership failing to fix this problem, to address it. And I will address it on the first day.
Marvin Arrington will address the same question. Basically, the Fulton County Jail, what are we going to do to ensure the safety of the inmates over the next 5 years?
Thank you. We have to do everything we can. As the county, we're responsible for providing a safe and humane atmosphere and building for the inmates. Most of the people that are arrested in the jail, more than 50% of them are arrested by the city of Atlanta, and the other 45 to 50% are arrested by the other 15 cities. And Fulton County and our sheriff are just charged with holding those people until they have their day in court. So we have to do everything we can to make sure that they're safe. The first thing, again, that I've done is lead by example by doing pre-arrest diversion and making sure that I've kept 1,000 people out of jail over the last 10 years since 2016. But I'm also happy to have the support of our sheriff, Patrick Labatt, and our district attorney, Willis. And we have to work with them. We have to staff up. Biggest problem we have is hiring and retention. In DeKalb County, they give the sheriff's officers double time. And over in Fulton County, we give them comp time. Now, I don't have to ask you which one do you want, double time versus comp time. But we have to make sure that we provide the resources for our complete justice system, the entire judicial ecosystem, district attorneys, public defenders, clerk's office, so that we can process the cases and move people in and out of the jail in a way that provides them dignity.
Mr. Pitts, the same question on the Fulton County Jail. What are we going to do to ensure the safety of the inmates over the next 5 years?
Right. the number one issue at our jail now is overcrowding. And to address that overcrowding issue is a question of staffing. But if you follow the news and you do any research whatsoever, every jail, every prison, FBI, Homeland Security, they're all having trouble with staffing. That being said, we're contracting even with private firms to hire more people at our jail. In fact, people always say, well, why don't you pay more? Well, we're paying more. In fact, our starting salary for our officers is the highest in the state of Georgia at this point in time, but it's still a very, very difficult problem. But there are other things that we can do and we are doing under my 5-point plan to reduce the jail population, which will also address the safety and well-being of the inmates. That 5-point plan has been adopted, it's been approved by the Board of Commissioners, and it is being implemented as we speak, as I speak to you this evening. So it's a question of hiring more people when you can and implementing the 5-point plan, my plan that's already in effect.
Mr. Pitts, please stay because you get the third question. You get to respond to it. What does accountability look like when a county department fails the public, and how should your office enforce it?
Well, from a point of view of accountability, and when a department fails, a department is run by a person, an individual. There are 4 or 5 that report directly to us. Most of the departments, though, report to the manager. I, as chair, by the way, my job is a full-time job. You cannot have another job when you're chair. I meet with the manager on a daily basis, going over what the departments are doing. And when we find that there is a problem, then that department head has to face the manager and subsequently face me, and in the last resort, face the board. We take accountability very seriously, but as I said before in my opening remarks, you live in a great county. It is a well-run county. That's not to say that we don't have our warts like any place else, but you live in one of the best counties in these United States of America. We take the accountability of the folk that we hire very seriously.
Thank you. Marvin Arrington Jr., same question. What does accountability look like when a county department fails the public, and how would your office enforce it?
Well, the role of the county commission, we have to have 4 votes in order to take any action, in order for Fulton County to take any action. The county departments are different than the elected officials, which are elected by the public, right? But we have to make sure that everyone is being held accountable and doing the job that they're supposed to do. I work from the framework that I give everyone a fair chance to show. I believe everyone shows up to work to do what they're supposed to do, and that they are there to perform their duties. And so I give everyone a blank slate until they can prove otherwise. And so I believe we have to believe in our employees. We have to give them the proper resources and tools that they need in order to conduct the job. And when someone falls short, we have to hold them accountable for that. But frankly, that is left up to our county manager for our departments. As commissioners, we don't get involved in the day-to-day hiring or firing of employees. We set the policy, the budget, and the priorities for Fulton County.
Thank you. Mo Ivory, same question.
Thank you so much. For me, accountability starts at the top. It always has. And I believe that in my experience in Fulton County, that has not been something that has been accessible to the people. The county manager at Fulton County has a lot of responsibility for a lot of things. In fact, many years ago, Chairman Pitts and 3 others voted to take away the commissioners having a say-so in the budget process, and the county manager handles the budget and then presents it to the commissioners a couple of weeks before to vote on. I would change that immediately, because as elected officials, I think every single one of the commissioners should play a role in the budget process, in the reviewing of the budget process, and that should not lie in the county manager's hands. So I believe that everybody should be at the table that is elected by the people, all 6 commissioners, including the chair, and not just the 4 that have the majority vote, which is what is happening now. There have been votes that have come up, like the 5-point plan, that I never saw until the day that we had a meeting. That should not be the case. When people are elected to office, they should share in the process. They should collaborate on the decisions that are being made for the people, and it should not just be 4 people who meet together, make all decisions for the county, and then the 3 that are left out do not get a say-so. So I would first make accountability a collaborative effort between all those that are elected in Fulton County. That will be the kind of chair that I am. 4 votes, but 7 people matter.
We now will have our closing statements.
Each candidate has 2 minutes for closing remarks.
And we'll begin with Mo Ivory, followed by Marvin Arrington, and then by Mr. Pitts.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight, and thank you all for coming. This has been wonderful. I'm asking for your vote because this race is about more than who has been around the longest. It's about why haven't those problems been resolved. It is about whether Fulton County will keep giving people more of the same, or whether we are finally ready for leadership that is honest, accountable, and willing to act. For decades, our communities have carried the burden of failed leadership. We see it in the jail. We see it in underfunded courts that delay justice. We see it in the lack of healthcare access, especially below I-20 on the south side. We see it in housing instability, and we see it in a budget process that too often leaves the public in the dark. When the county government fails, working families pay the price. Poor people pay the price. You pay the price. And I want to be clear. I have not just talked about these issues, I have worked on them. I have pushed for more funding for the courts and for public defense, for healthcare and hospital investment, for supportive housing, for seniors, for veterans, and for real budget accountability. I fought for solutions even when they were blocked, they were filed, or they were voted down. That is why I'm in this race, because I believe Fulton County deserves a chair who will tell you the truth, who will do the work, and who will fight for real results that you can measure. If you want more excuses, more delay, and more of the same, then you have a choice in this race. But if you want new leadership, real accountability, and someone who will stand up for the people of Fulton County, then I'm asking you to move forward. I'm asking you to let's take Fulton County into a new generation of leadership, and let's have a cultural change that you've been waiting for a long time. Thank you. Come on.
Good evening, I'm Marvin Arrington Jr., and I am offering myself to serve the residents as the next chair of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. I have put in the work over the last 12 years, leading by example with our youth, leading by example through the arts, leading by example through community service, and I am asking for your prayers, your support, and your vote. Again, you know, anyone can tell you what they're going to do, but the best indication of what someone will do is their track record and their history. And I stand on my archives and all of the work that I've done over the last 12 years. I was there to vote to get us out of the first consent order with the jail. I was there to vote during COVID. I was there to vote for employees and giving them a raise, bringing them up to minimum wage. And my work with our youth and developing the next generation of leaders is unprecedented, and cannot be matched in this race. Thank you again for coming out tonight. You can see my record at marvinforfulton.com/Arrington-archives. Anyone can tell you what they're going to do, but the best way to know what someone is going to do, if they're going to show up for work every day, or whether they're going to be looking to run for the next opportunity that comes open, whether they're going to try to be the next mayor or the next congressperson. I am dedicated to the residents of Fulton County, and I have shown that by showing up for work every day for the last 12 years, and I will be the honor of my life to serve as the next chair of the Fulton County Commission.
So I think there are two views of Fulton County. I believe that we live in a great county, and evidence of that is what I said earlier. We could not have the ranking that we have if the sky is falling. It's not falling. We live in a great county. Now, that's not to say, as I said earlier, that we do not have some warts and we've not come through some difficult times. 2 or 3, just to remind you, 2 or 3. COVID, we came through COVID with flying colors. Fulton County, Georgia was the envy of every county in the United States of America based upon how we handled COVID. The cyber attack, when the Russian mafia hacked our computers, we said no when they wanted millions of your dollars. That's leadership. Elections. Now let's talk about elections. You talk about leadership. The night of January 28th, when the FBI came to South Fulton County and seized those records, our 2020 voting records, and a lot of your personal identification, that was a problem for us. That signaled to me and to you that we, Fulton County, Georgia, we are at war with the President of the United States. We have a target on our back. Fulton County, Georgia is the #1 target for President Trump and his allies. That's why I say, and that's why I submit to you, that what we need right now is not show horses. You need a workhorse. Someone who is capable, someone who is calm, someone who is committed, someone who has never embarrassed you, and someone who is tested. That's what I offer to you, and that's what I hope that you will consider. Not whether you went to school with someone, not whether your kids play together, but we are at war, and I offer tested leadership for Fulton County, Georgia.
We now welcome the candidates of Georgia Secretary of State, Penny Brown Reynolds, Dana Barrett, Canfi ASHLING, and ADRIAN Concert Jr. Will you please take the stage, please? How many, show me with a raise of hand, how many of you have 100% confidence in our election system? These candidates are the ones to address your questions regarding that. Not one hand was raised. A couple in the back, I see you, I see you. You have 100% confidence in them. Impressive. Dr. Boyden, let's proceed.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you, Lisa. We begin with 1-minute opening statements.
ADRIAN CONSONERY Jr., you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am ADRIAN CONSONERY Jr. I am a candidate for Georgia Secretary of State. I am a native of Marietta, Georgia, born and raised in everything that this state has to offer. And I'm running to be your next Secretary of State because we deserve to have our voices heard, amplified, and valued. I'm running because back in 2020, while I was a student at Grambling State University, I sent in my absentee ballot ready to have my voice heard in the first ever presidential election that I had the opportunity to vote in. And when I sent in my absentee ballot, they told me that I had 3 days to come back to the state to prove my identity, or else they were throwing out my vote. This took place for the primary and the general of the same election, and in that moment I was faced with 2 choices. Either say, woe is me, or woe is anyone who tries to silence me. And I began working in voter advocacy, voter registration, voter education, and voter protection, all across the nation in an effort to make sure that communities everywhere had their voices heard, amplified, and valued. In Georgia, I'm ready to do that for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Canfi ASHLING, 1 minute for an opening statement.
Hello, everyone. KMT ASHLING here. I want to be your Secretary of State GOAT, greatest of all time. Right? This is my dream, and I have been doing that work and getting prepared for his office for over 10 years. And I usually would say, like, who here has ran 20 people team curing rejected absentee ballots? Okay, I will raise my hand, and then Ms. Helen Butler here. Who has sued the state of Georgia over SB 202 through my PAC? Okay, I will raise my hand. I've done that too. Okay, who has sat in so many rooms and warehouses hand counting ballots? Okay, this one, right? I've been on the ground. I've been doing all the work for us, and I want to also thank this room and all the women who have also done all the work that has moved this movement forward. I ask you to also give me a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana Barrett, 1 minute, followed by Penny Brown Reynolds. 1 minute for your opening statements.
Good evening, everyone. I am Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett, and I am running to be Georgia's next Secretary of State. I'm running because too many Georgians are struggling right now. People cannot afford to pay for gas at the pump, or rent, or child care, or health care. And as a single mom and a breast cancer survivor, I get it. I know what it's like to have more bills coming in than money in the bank. But the truth is, the only way we solve the affordability crisis in Georgia is with free, fair, and secure elections. And our elections are under attack right now. Because Donald Trump and his MAGA cronies know that if we vote, they lose. So they're doing everything in their power to stop us from voting. And when we vote in record numbers, like I know we will this year, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure our votes don't count. That is why I was willing to go to jail to protect our elections in Fulton County, and it's why I'm running to be Georgia's next Secretary of State.
Good evening. I am Penny Brown Reynolds, and most of you know me as the Reverend Dr. Judge Penny Brown Reynolds, and I'm running to be your next Georgia Secretary of State. When Governor Barnes selected me to be his lawyer, I oversaw state agencies. I am the only attorney on either side to run. I am the most qualified, most equipped, most educated person to ever run for Secretary of State in the history of running. Let me be clear on this. When President Biden selected me to run an agency that was struggling, I turned it around for Georgians. As a judge and a pastor, I have invested in this community. I get things done. It's just who I am. You can see how I'm running my campaign. I don't play because I am Judge Penny Brown Reynolds.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, candidates, for your opening statements. Our first community selected question begins now. Adrian CONSONERY Jr., your question is as follows. What is the biggest threat to public confidence in Georgia elections, and what is within your power to fix it?
Thank you for that question.
You're welcome.
The biggest threat to our competence when it comes to people being able to have their voices heard is information. Unfortunately, we have had far too much misinformation that has permeated throughout the state that has not been accurately and adequately fought against. And the only way you fight against misinformation and ignorance is with proper information and education. And that is why I am looking forward to investing into a new civics education, working alongside a coalition with the next state school superintendent to make sure that throughout our schools we start to get the proper education on what it takes place for you to know who you go to for your problems, how your elections are handled, and what is taking place in the rooms that you are not in. This is something that has been missed for far too long when it comes to the Secretary of State office in an effort to inform voters on everything that is accurately taking place. And on top of all of this, I do look forward to making sure that the Secretary of State website is one of the best and premier places for someone to get information on any candidate, on any policy, and on anything that may be taking place on their ballot, not just with the sample ballot, but explaining it in layman's terms so everyone can understand what is at stake when they go to vote. Thank you.
ASHLING will ask you the same question. What is the biggest threat to public confidence in Georgia elections, and what is within your power to fix it?
So I think this is the big problem with this office. It has become politicized. of all the things they should be making a nonpartisan office, it probably should be the Secretary of State office that's running elections. Right? But it's not. And because it's so politicized, we need somebody who can be trusted on both sides. I've been a nonprofit founder. I know what that's like to operate with people from different perspectives. I'm a business owner. I'm a financial analyst. I'm a certified financial analyst. And so I would come at this office from a business perspective and not let it get taken over by the MAGAs or people fighting with each other about what things are. I will make our election clean, fair, counted like we count our money. That is how I'm going to run this office.
Thank you. Dana Barrett and Penny Brown Reynolds, I'm going to have you expound on that specific question to include then how do you define voter access? So then what is the biggest threat to public confidence in Georgia elections, and what is within your right to fix it? And how will you expand that to include voter access? Dana Barrett, you first, and followed by Penny Brown Reynolds.
Thank you for the question. Look, confidence in our election has been undermined by Donald Trump and the MAGA movement based on a lot of misinformation. So what we have to do, it's not about fixing the system, it's about rebuilding the trust. There's been a lot of conversation about paper ballots versus machines. I think what we really need to do is provide a paper receipt so that people can feel confident about the fact that what they're putting in the machine is what is getting counted. But I also think we have settled for far too long for a Secretary of State who has done the bare minimum. While I think we are all grateful that Brad Raffensperger did not give away 11,000 votes when Donald Trump asked, you don't get a gold star for getting a red light where I'm from, for stopping at a red light. He just didn't break the law, and that is not good enough. The Secretary of State really has a responsibility to provide guidance to all 159 counties on how our elections should be run. And when it comes to voter access, that's part of it. Right now, where you live impacts whether or not you are going to have an easier time getting to the polls. It impacts how long the lines are going to be. It impacts whether or not, or how many early voting locations you're going to have, how many ballot drop boxes you're going to have, and that is all something that can be done far better with good guidance and support from the Secretary of State.
Thank you.
Everything that is happening with regard to voting has to do with everything that they've laid out in Project 2025. This is systematic, what they're doing. It should not matter what zip code you live in and how you're voting. If you look at certain places, like I'm from this area, there are times we have to wait for hours just to be able to vote. One of the biggest things we need from a Secretary of State is competence. And in order to build trust, you have to make certain that you have someone who can defend the legal constitutional authority. And I'm able to be able to do that. As a pastor, I'm able to do that because I know what it means to be able to say what you say and mean what you say. I'm very concerned about what's going on, but I'm not nervous about it. When I come in and I am Secretary of State, I'm going to create an office that is transparent. Right now, you can find out where your Uber is by looking at your phone or an Amazon package. Why are we not using technology to tell you how long a voting line can be? Because you know what happened? A long time ago, people who were in elected office think that it's about them and not about you. We will bring transparency and access by making certain that we are accountability. And first of all, thank you. They can start answering the telephone. That's one thing they can do.
Thank you. We now move to our second question, and Kamthai Ashling, the question is for you. What responsibility, the job of Secretary of State is to oversee elections, but what responsibility does the Secretary of State really have to go out there and intentionally educate voters?
They are not doing anything beyond just running the election system and not doing a really great job at it. The Secretary of State office should really be doing some of the things that the nonprofits and we have been doing. They should be making an effort to call people and cure their ballots when it's getting rejected. But we're always doing that. They quit. They do not go above to actually make sure people vote and that their vote gets counted or that it gets counted the way they voted, right? And so I will be going beyond what the Secretary of State office normally does and fix the problems and the barriers that they keep putting ahead of us. You know, the other reason why I'm running is I also want to flip the House of Representatives, because without flipping that House of Representatives, we can't stop all these diabolical voter suppression laws that they keep creating that then the Secretary of State office is enforcing or running. So I want us to be strategic how we do this. Thank you.
Thank you. ADRIAN CONSONERY Jr., same question, that being, what responsibility does the Secretary of State have to educate voters, not just administer elections?
Thank you for that question. And to sound like a broken record, I do believe that education is the most important thing that this office should definitely be doing. Because when it comes to making sure that you know what's on your ballot, the ballot must first come from the Secretary of State. And so in an effort to make sure to meet you where you are, I do believe that this is something that must be the top priority. You must know what these individuals are, especially with them trying to push for nonpartisan elections in various different communities that are all ran by black women. For some odd reason, that is the new thing that they're trying to push. But we need to make sure that they understand if you won't be able to be identified by your party, you will be identified by your policies. So you will have to report what it is that you stand for and allow for the people to know transparently who you are and what you are trying to implement. On top of this, because I spoke a little bit further on this in my last question, I do want to make sure to also adhere to the voter access that came earlier. When it comes to making sure that you are also informed, you must be able to engage. And that is why I am looking to implement what is known as the Bobby Bus in memory of my own grandfather, who in South Louisiana used to take people to the polls on his own dime in a time when it was not safe for our own complexion to be able to be at the polls. So when it comes to access and education, ADRIAN CONSONERY Jr. is your guy for Secretary of State. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana Barrett, same question. What responsibility does the Secretary of State have to educate voters, not just administer elections?
Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
Look, in Fulton County, we do a great job of keeping voters informed. We actually have the My Fulton Votes app that actually tells you how long your waiting lines are, tells you when you have to register, what your registration deadlines are, when your early voting is, where your locations are. We do a great job of it, but we're one county out of 159. There is a reason that the Secretary of State's office currently is not doing voter outreach. It's because they don't actually want you to vote. We know how to do it in Fulton County, and the policies we've implemented there, I'm ready to bring those policies statewide so that we will have an app, we will have information, we will be able to tell you when your wait lines are. We'll be sending out emails to make sure everybody knows to check your registration and when your dates to vote are, your early voting dates, your ballot drop boxes, your mail-ins. They're not doing any of that right now because, again, they don't want you to vote. We want you to vote. It's my goal that every eligible citizen in Georgia who wants to vote can vote with as much ease as any other citizen in any of the 159 counties and in any zip code.
Thank you. Penny Brown Reynolds, same question. What responsibility does the Secretary of State have to educate voters, not just administer elections?
In my community, education is everything. I am the most highly educated person running for Secretary of State. I have a Juris Doctor, a PhD, a master's in postdoctoral studies. Education matters because I was a professor. So when Brad Raffensperger canceled out in September, 780,000 votes, canceled them, the most in the history of Georgia. The Secretary of State did that, and that was it. The kind of Secretary of State I plan to be is that then I would then go out and help register 500,000 people. by educating them that their registrations have been canceled. Education is so key even to this new generation. I, in Fulton County, was a deputy registrar through my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, where I went out to high schools to make certain that I could register young people, because they don't teach civics in school anymore. So the obligation of a person who is the most qualified, the most equipped, the most educated would be the Secretary of State that puts education at a premium, and I will do that.
Thank you. We now move to our third and final question. Dana Barrett, your question is as follows. When election security and convenience conflict, which must prevail and why?
Look, at the end of the day, we need to have election security and convenience. It's critical that every voter who wants to vote in this state can do so easily, even if you work 2 jobs, even if you don't have a car, even if you can't get there on election day, or you're out of town, or you're in the military. It's important that everybody gets to vote, and can do so easily. So convenience is absolutely important, but at the same time, we need to make sure our elections are secure. And to be clear, currently our elections are secure. What you're hearing, and any doubt you may have about the security of our elections, is because the MAGA machine wants you to believe that our elections do not work. We ran successful elections in 2020, and in Fulton County alone, we had 25 successful elections since 2020. You heard no complaints about any of those. I think it's very possible to do both, have secure elections and accessible elections, and that is my goal.
Thank you. Camfi Ashling, same question. When election security and convenience conflict, which must prevail and why?
Election security. And I say that because we know that it's always kind of hard to go vote, right? You gotta take a day off. It is a little bit inconvenient, but at the end of the day, what matters is how the people voted gets counted correctly, and that is what gets reported, and that is who wins. And so protecting that so that it doesn't get hijacked, that there aren't errors, that it causes lawsuits and invalidations of our election result is very important. I don't know how else even to say that, except it's got to get counted like money. Okay, and in the banking system, we have paper trail, we have auditable votes, we can verify them, and we definitely know how to defend any amount of money that gets lost. We need to start counting our votes the way we count our money, and security's got to be #1 first. Because I know we will sacrifice to go vote.
Thank you. Adrian Consory Jr., the same question. When election security and convenience conflict, which must prevail?
Security is definitely #1. That must be the monarch of what we do with our elections, is making sure that they are secure so that way people can trust the process of choosing leaders. However, security and convenience must be bridged. In an effort to make sure that people have access to the polls, we must make it to where you know that you can get there, you can have your voice heard, and there be nothing in the way, no barrier to the ballot that exists that keeps you from accurately having your voice heard. So, but in the event that there may be some sort of kind of convenience that is a security risk, then it must definitely be audited and dissected no longer, or to the extent to where it is never a problem. But in the event, and speaking of convenience, let's definitely talk about how in order to, like for my own personal story, when they wanted my identity checked, to come back in the 3-day time span. That is unheard of when for our financial institutions, I can always upload my ID and you know exactly who I am. Why can we not do the same for our elections? In an effort to make sure that you are able to be accurately heard, no matter what, we must bridge the two, and I am the one to make that happen. Thank you for that question.
Thank you. Penny Brown Reynolds, which one should prevail, security or convenience?
I don't believe that they're mutually exclusive. The Republicans have poisoned the well. They want you to believe that our elections are not secure. You can have secure elections, which is what you have to have. But you know what convenience is? It's really about customer service. Convenience is about when we had 28 drop boxes in Fulton County, but after the Republicans passed SB 202, you only have 8. That means it's not secure. That means that they moved them from outside and brought them on the inside, so that if you are disabled, you can no longer pull up and put your ballot in a drop box. That's not about security or convenience. But when the AFL-CIO and 60,000 plus members endorsed me, they did it because I'm the only candidate that understands that there are people who work shift work and that I will expand early voting. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it convenient for people to vote while maintaining security. Why I can maintain the security? Because I'm the only one who took an oath to the Constitution as a judge. And nothing would stop me from making certain that our elections are secure without having to compromise customer service with convenience.
Thank you. We now move to closing statements.
Closing statements, you each have 2 minutes for your closing statement, and we will hear you in this order. Adrian CONSONERY Jr., followed by Canthi Ashling, Dana Barrett, and then Penny Brown Reynolds.
Thank you all for being here this evening to be civically engaged and informed. This is what the community needs. This is what change looks like. I am Adrian CONSONERY Jr., and I am a candidate for this race, but I am also of the generation that will inherit all of the decisions that this office makes for the next 40 years. I am of the generation that was sold an American dream and a promise that if you go to high school, go to college, you get your degree, you get a trade, you will be able to afford a home, you will be able to afford the lifestyle and live the American dream. And unfortunately, I'm of the generation that was sold a lie. And so I am standing before you today to ensure that on the backs of all of those who came before me, who fought for me to even be able to stand in this position, that we are able to ensure our history and ensure our future, no matter the cost. To be able to make sure that this state can trust its leaders to serve them and not any other interest. Not the interest of a president, not the interest of a corporation, not the interest of a state election board that also goes with the president, but someone who actually serves you. I am Adrian CONSONERY Jr., candidate for Georgia Secretary of State, and Georgia, I am ready to serve you. You can go to aj4ga.org, that is aj4ga.org, and I look forward to hearing all of your concerns and meeting you where you are. Thank you for your time this evening.
Canthi Ashling.
I'm going to tell you why I'm in this race. I'm in this race to take out the Republican nominee. That is my only job here. Okay? and the reason why I'm here is because we need more than what we normally run as a candidate in this race to beat the Republicans. Okay? I happen to be not just a business owner, but I'm also a farmer, and I run a farm out in Forsyth, like the land of the red. Okay? This is what I mean, and we need rural Georgia on board as well to win this race. All this is great, except when we can't win this race, we're just all gonna cry, and I'm gonna cry first. Okay? I've been crying. I'm done crying. All right, we have to flip this seat. I'm a coalition builder. I've done all the work on the ground. These are the boots that have been on the ground. Okay, you know who've done this and know me. You know I've been there. I fought for President Biden for the state. We flipped that. I was on Senator Ossoff's campaign. And Even Senator Warnock's re-election. Okay, I've been on the ground, I've done all the work, I know what it takes to win statewide, and it's very, very difficult. And we need people who are more than just great voter protection advocate. We need a business owner, a money person, a capitalist, in a way. Sorry, me. Okay? But Georgia needs a financial advisor right now. Okay? And so I offer myself and my service. I hope to gain your trust and support. Thank you so much, Cam ASHLING. Go to camlovesgeorgia.com, which is why I'm here.
Thank you. Dana Barrett, followed by Penny Brown Reynolds.
Thank you again. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here. I am Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett. I am a former technology executive and a small business owner, and I am running to be your next Secretary of State. Look, at the end of the day, the Secretary of State's job is about protecting Georgians' right to choose and have a say in their own future, not only through elections, but through building businesses and through creating great careers as licensed professionals. I've been fighting for years now as a Fulton County Commissioner to protect our elections. In my role as a county commissioner, a seat I won by beating a Republican in a long time, incumbent Republican, in a seat that was gerrymandered for him. I've been in this fight since day one as a Fulton County Commissioner, and just in the last several years, MAGA and Trump have come after our elections board 3 times. Every time I successfully led the charge to stop them, up to and including last year when they threatened to put me in jail. I made it clear then, and I'll say it again now. I cannot, and I will not, ever let anyone get in the way of you having your say at the ballot box. Not MAGA, not anyone, not ever. I have a unique set of qualifications for the job of Secretary of State. I know what small business owners need because I am one. I know how to run complex technology operations because I did it throughout my career. I know how to beat a Republican in a general election because I'm the only candidate up here who's done it, and because I did it to get right where I am today. And I know how to stand up against Donald Trump and the MAGA bullies because I am doing it every single day. I am Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett, asking for your vote to be Georgia's next Secretary of State. Thank you.
To be clear, no one is coming to save us but us. Anybody can run for office, but can you run the office? I have every confidence that I have been preparing all of my life for this. No one up here has ever worked in state government. I have. And I ran and oversaw for Governor Robb Pitts' agencies. I was called upon by the President of the United States to turn around a struggling agency. I've been fighting all of my life as a civil rights lawyer. I have business acumen. You all remember I had a show called Family Court with Judge Penny. I own that show. A $5 million show that I own. Anything I do it in excellence. Our people deserve excellence because this is a serious moment. And when you have a pivotal moment like we have now, you need prepared hands to come and do the job. I'm not a local politician. I've been on the national stage. All my time when I had to work for the Biden-Harris administration. I was born for this. God has called me for this moment. And if there was ever a moment I've been proud of my career and everything that I have done to be able to fight for the people that need it the most, I can win not just the primary, but I can win the general election. I'm in South Georgia, I'm in North Georgia, I'm everywhere. I'm running because I want it, because I'm humble, because I'm asking you for your vote. But more than that, I've been called for such a time as this. I am equipped, I am ready, I am qualified, and I will be Penny Brown Reynolds, your next Georgia Secretary of State. Make history with me.
all of tonight's candidates. Can we give it up for our moderators, Miss Lisa Williams, Miss Monica Pearson, Miss Angelique Parker, and Dr. Maria Barton. Y'all can do better than that. Give it up for them, y'all. And most importantly, let's give it up for the community. Give it up for yourselves. Stand on your feet. Thank y'all. Make sure you go vote. Today was the last day of the voting registration, so if you're not registered, you probably can still hop online and check that out. Make sure you go early vote starting on the 27th of this month. Y'all have a good one. Thank you. Good night.